husband. Like he's talking, blah, blah, blah. He knows I'm going to stop and stick my face in that rose. He's talking if he wants, but I'm going to stick my face in that rose. I'm going to take a deep breath. I'm going to encourage him to do it. He may or may not, and I feel like a little uplift. And what's great about this whole idea of the glimmer, because as you were talking, I'm like, I have to just kind of see what's out there on the internet about the glimmer, is that it's not just kind of like cutesy wording. Like there really is a specific like psychological, it was been coined by a behavioral neuroscientist about what it does to your what a glimmer does to your nervous system, how it triggers your autonomic nervous system into activating your vagus nerve to calm you down as opposed to trigger you, like the opposite of triggering, like you said.
On today's podcast, we talk about glimmers. What are they and why do you need to add them to your self-care toolkit? On the 96th episode, oh my gosh, I'm so close to 100. What am I going to do for 100? I don't know. You're going to have to tune in and find out. All of this on the 96th episode of the Harness the Power of Planning podcast, starting now. Hi, welcome. I am Allegra of Beyond Your Wildest Dreams, and I have my friend Natasha here with me.
Hi.
And I am on a mission to help you prioritize yourself and your goals by learning to harness the power of planning, which is why this live video cast goes up as the Harness the Power of Planning podcast, wherever you listen. And welcome. Feel free to chat with us. I will see those before or even if you're watching the recording, I will see the messages that you put there. So go ahead and put some messages in there and we will respond as appropriate. Yay. First part of the podcast.
Love it.
Glimmers.
Glimmers. Yeah. So I love, talk to me. What is a glimmer? I mean, aside from the little glint in one's eye or a glimmer on I don't fish, but like I imagine the little lures that they put out there. There's a little glimmer to attract.
Oh, yes.
What's a glimmer?
So a glimmer is a term for in the positive psychology world for like the opposite of a trigger. So if a trigger is something that sets you off in a negative way, then a glimmer is a small act that brings you joy or peace. Like, for instance, I just got back from walking my dog and the citrus blossoms are starting to bloom. And I love the scent of citrus blossoms. And every time I saw a citrus tree blossoming that I could smell without, trespassing on private property, I did so. And every time I did, I was just like, oh, I just love that. It just made me happy.
Yeah. Right. Scents are so amazing. They can transport you. I think there's been research that like out of all the senses, it's able to really evoke or, bring you to a time and place and bring you to like specific feelings and memories more so than any other sense, apparently.
It's true. It's true. Our vision is our strongest sense. It's our dominant sense as a species, but scent has this visceral memory component to it that just is transporting. And so I don't know why citrus blossom, but I love citrus blossom.
Well, I feel so
it makes me happy.
Yeah. There is a reason that, there's that adage of stop and smell the roses. It's not a joke. It's not, yes, it's we talked just a moment ago, look at the little stuff.
Yeah.
But really, and so it seems kind of cliche, but I really do stop and smell the roses. If I pass a rose bush and it is, like you said, I'm not trespassing, I stick my nose right up in that blossom because for those few seconds that I'm inhaling, it really does kind of give me this little instant vacation from whatever's going on. And, there's research again about the vibration frequency of roses and
interesting.
Rose oil and so forth, that it really does help. If you're into that kind of thing, raise your vibration is what I've read.
So, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to look that up.
Research. I don't know how accurate that is, but I can tell you from my own experience, I can be in a crappy mood and I can stick my face in a rose, and even if it's just for those few seconds, it does really feel like an uplift. It feels like a glimmer. I'm so glad you used that orange blossom as an example of what a glimmer could be, because smelling roses for me is 100% that.
Yeah, it's so itty bitty. And if you've listened to me speak before about meditation is something I struggle with. Now, I am good at being mindful in tasks, so I can wash the dishes mindfully. I can do that mindfully. But smelling a flower for me is probably the best form of meditation because I don't know about you, but I always close my eyes.
Yeah.
I close my eyes.
Yeah.
And I am never more in that exact second than when I'm smelling a flower. It's just like all my focus. I just want to concentrate fully on everything that orange blossom has to offer me. And
Yeah.
so, yeah,
100%.
it's
That is how I feel about, and that's how I do the same thing with, it does really feel like I said, it's a vacation. It feels like it puts a bubble around me for like a split second where like, no matter what I've just been worrying about or, whatever it is that's been going on, even when I walk with my husband, like he's talking, blah, 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 he knows I'm going to stop and stick my face in that rose. He can keep talking if he wants, but I'm going to stick my face in that rose. I'm going to take a deep breath. I'm going to encourage him to do it. He may or may not, and I feel like a little uplift. And
yeah.
What's great about this whole idea of the glimmer, because as you were talking, I'm like, I heard I have to just kind of see what's out there on the internet about the glimmer, is that it's not just kind of like cutesy wording. Like there really
No.
is a specific like psychological, let's see, it was been coined by a behavioral neuroscientist about what it does to your what a glimmer does to your nervous system, how it triggers your autonomic nervous system into activating your vagus nerve to calm you down as opposed to trigger you, like the opposite of triggering, like you said.
Absolutely. So if you are able to grab a piece of paper and something to write with, write down 5 things that are itty bitty that bring you joy. I mean, this is such a great self-care tool to have in your quiver. I don't want to use I hate using like terms related to like bullets and stuff like that, So I'm going to go to archery because my daughter does archery. So let's put this tool in your quiver of tools.
Love it.
And let's think about what are 5 things that you can do that are easy and fast that just uplift you. Like for me, one of mine, and if you saw me, I posted it on Instagram yesterday in anticipation of doing this podcast. Doing 3 cartwheels in a row always lifts my spirits. I don't know if it's the movement itself, there's a lot of research behind the benefits of inverting, right? So I'm inverting.
Yeah.
I'm raising my heart rate, but I also think that there's something that it just reminds me of being a kid on the playground.
Yes.
So I'm sure that there's something in there where it's just like, I'm 8, Who knows? And it was a little
for me, or if I see a swing and I can get on a swing, man, I love swings. I just really love. I just get pumping up there and get going on that. But I don't always have a swing available.
Right. But that's not a bad one. I mean, some of them are hard. Like for me, another one is napping in a hammock. I don't always have a hammock available, but it's one of the 5 for sure because I can get to a hammock relatively easily. So I would definitely add swing there. I mean, it's easy to go to a park and jump on a swing if you need to,
Yeah, if you need to, for sure. Yeah.
If you need a swing, you can find
one. You can find a swing. Okay.
Yeah.
You can get yourself a swing if you need to. It's funny. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I just want to finish this one thought because I videotaped myself doing the cartwheels, which I've never done before. And I was like, oh man, I need to work on my flexibility there. Cause like I am not getting as straight as I thought I was getting. So it definitely made me aware of something I need to work on, but it just feels good and it's fun and easy to do.
It's amazing how we think we're looking when we do things like that, especially at this age.
Yes.
Somebody Allegra and I have played soccer, never together though.
Oh God. Oh no, I would so not want to see that.
I know, seriously. And I just was like, I'm like, is that how I run? Like in my mind, I thought I was firing off. I was like, to get going, like, like once I get up to speed, it's fine, but I don't fire off like off the line, like a Lamborghini, you know what I mean? Like, it's like,
right.
Like so I was just, so I feel you, girl. Because in my mind, I was like, oh, I'm just, top speed, No. It's so funny. So when you started describing what a glimmer was, excuse me, the first thing that came to mind was I've said this for decades now. It doesn't matter what mood I'm in. If I hear the beginning of the Simpsons theme song, it instantly puts me in a good mood. No, but just the first few notes, like the Simpsons.
Oh, okay.
And then into that because I'm just like, oh, here's 30 minutes of, I know I'm going to enjoy this. I just know I'm going to enjoy. I've always loved the Simpsons. Even when they have a pretty not great episode, it still is delightful to me. And And now, obviously you can jump on the streaming service. I can get on Disney Plus and watch any Simpsons episode I want for the last 20 something years. But yeah, there's just something about that. I've always said that it's like, no matter where I am, if I hear those notes, I'm like, oh, all right. I can take a break here for a few minutes and just watch the Simpsons and enjoy that. It just instantly lifts my mood.
So I'd love to hear if you have glimmers that you want to share with us. I'd love to hear your glimmers just to give you some more ideas. So mine are, smelling orange blossoms, doing 3 cartwheels, a hot bath, reading, especially if I'm really down, I'll read like my favorite book, which I don't really reread a lot. But this book is, it's my glimmer. I'm like, I know that a few pages of this book is going to set me right. And I do that. And I love comedy. I can just pull up I could just go on YouTube and pull up little clips of comedians that I love and watch that. But if I can see a live show, awesome. And here's a little secret. Maybe I shouldn't be saying this because maybe it'll change because I've said it to, all 12 of you listening right now. Open mics are usually free at comedy clubs for people who aren't going up. So for a comedian like me who's working on some material, I have to pay to go up, but you could just sit there and you don't have to order any food or drink either because open mics aren't like that. So, if you want to get some comedy for free, check out open mics. Most of them are free if you're not going up. There you go.
That is a great little tip. Thank you. So I'm just looking on this list here of other examples. And it's really simple stuff, right? Feeling the warmth of the sun, sensing the cool, salty ocean air, the smell of cut grass, seeing a rainbow, sunlight sparkling on the water, smelling lavender, petting a dog or cat, which is a really very well researched glimmer.
Also, walking in grass or sand.
Feeling that
there's something visceral about feeling that under your barefoot.
Barefoot. Yeah. 100%. Yes. There is something so very much about that. Yeah. And that makes me think of seeing fireflies because I get to see them in the summertime when I go back east. We don't have them here in Southern California. And that just instantly, just seeing that little glow coming up out of the grass as dusk is settling in. It's just, there's such a contentment that I feel when I see that. It's,
So there's another trick too about glimmers. So if you sat down and you wrote your 5 glimmers, guess what? Just reading them and thinking about them will actually give you some benefit, some uplifting benefit. Just thinking about the fireflies, just thinking about sitting at the ocean and hearing the crash of the waves and that sort of thing. So you don't even have to actually do the things. You can just imagine doing them and get some benefit. And so next time you're stressed out and feeling like, I need a vacation, but you can't because you're sitting at your computer and have 5 more hours on the clock. Think about your glimmers. They're just a great way to secure your mental health in that moment and go on with the day.
The human brain's amazing, right? Right? Just this idea of athletes just imagining the routine they're going to do, the run or whatever, and your muscles fire in those exact ways. So that's really interesting. And of course, it makes total sense that if you really just give a moment to really think about your glimmer, how that has the same effect. Amazing. Yeah.
So that's glimmers. And that's my little nugget of self-care today.
Love it. Thanks for introducing glimmers to me.
Yes.
I love it. I'm so glad there's a counterpoint to triggers.
Hey, there's always a light side, right? It's just like the Force or duct tape. So I once saw some sticker that was like, duct tape is like the Force. There's a light side and a dark side, and it holds the universe together. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you next week. Remember, planning makes everything easier. If you're ready to take your planning skills to the next level, check out our on-demand 6-session course called Harness the Power of Planning, or HPOP for short. And you can find that at tinyurl.com/HPOP on demand. We'll show you how to plan your day, your week, your month, your year, your life, and help you to start prioritizing yourself and your goals right now. Dream wild, wild dreamers. Thanks for joining us for the Harness the Power of Planning podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe wherever you listen.